Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 4 Minutes. I am your ever lovely no shorty, and I'm a matter of hours away from Free Comic Book Day 2021. It's a bit later than we expected, but it's definitely going to happen this time. Definitely. Until then, though, I've got stuff to read, I've got stuff to review. And it's one that is on my pull list. It's one that we've almost completely sold out, so I'm glad I had my own copy just to make sure I could review this one, which is Echolands. And yes, you are seeing it that way. It's weird. But it can to be expected. J.H. Williams III is one of the key creators on this one. And one of the things, if you know anything about J.H. Williams III, you're going to know is his art is impressive, over-the-top stylized, and in, what's what I'm looking for, kind of unique in its approach to formatting, layout, and timing. It also manages to incorporate several different stylistic choices within even single panels, definitely over pages and over series. It's the reason why I think that when Neil Gaiman decided to go back to the cash cow that is Sandman, he brought J.H. Williams III along with it. Because one of the things I love about Sandman is the different art styles throughout it, all very evocative of what story is trying to be told at the moment. If you're only doing 6 issues, somebody like J.H. Williams is damn near perfect for it. And I could spend more than 5 minutes just talking about his artwork. I'm going to try to limit it because obviously I've only got 5 minutes. So I'm going to talk about just 2 different pages. First off is like the first proper double page thing. And this does something which I talk about quite a lot. So apologies, feels like I'm going over ground, but when I see something that impresses me, I do tend to focus on it. And it's using multi-panel layouts like this to show time passing within static imagery. Great trick if you can do it. If you can do it this stylishly, even better. Because if you look and follow from the final panel, I suppose, and go backwards, you can see each panel is separate and shows an individual character in motion. But the red cloak is one solid piece of artwork running through those panels. Every single bit of that is spectacular. And then in the final panel, you actually get to see even more detail that goes in there and just how intricate the artwork is. Now, that intricacy runs on even more so in the next page, where one panel runs along the entire bottom of the double page. There is no break there. That is one solid bit of action, and it involves the same character different times again, so showing movement within static imagery, absolutely brilliant. But the detailing on the different types of character available is actually what's impressive here, because within that one panel, there are different artistic styles. You can look at the I was going to say Jonathan Strange there, but that's a character from a novel. You know what I mean? Adam Strange type character who has no external lines on his character design, whereas other ones do. You've got the black and white vampire and Frankenstein monster right there. You have, as you go further down, more East Asian kind of styles, going from inking to watercolor. All manner of things go on in there. And that is something which he uses so effectively throughout that you can't have it in there without it meaning something. In this situation, it's basically because the story takes place in the Echolands, which is a hub of stories of some type. There's an awful lot that hasn't been, discussed properly in this first issue, which is now we're going to come into the writing of it. It drops you in to a world, or worlds colliding, should we say, that are fully realized and fully formed without giving you too much information. You are basically put on this journey with the character to figure it out as you go along. I like that. I love that, in fact. I don't want a whole bunch of box out text explaining exactly what's going on. Don't get me wrong, I think it's useful when you're doing a noir kind of style. It adds to the genre really quite nicely. In this case, what I want is the art to be the thing that drags me along. There's a bit later on when you meet some clearly fascistic law enforcement officers, and they do that by shared uniform, bold red imagery on black, and without ever telling you what the imagery means, it's enough to give you clear indications of intent, and that runs throughout. The story is Hope, who has found herself on this world after seemingly a almost Riding Hood kind of character from a fantasy world with wolves at the door, living in a cottage in the wood, who is now part of a criminal gang, or a revolutionary underworld gang at least, and she's stolen something from a very, very powerful wizard, and the wizard is sending people, including his biotechnica daughter, which seems to be melding humanity, mechanical, and plant together, not in a body shock, body horror kind of way, more in a transhumanist kind of way. And just that one character description there will show you just how much is going on in the world that we don't know about. There's End Matter, which involves a newspaper story and comic strips, and even an advert for a missing pet, which I'm fairly sure I saw in the comic at some point, because one thing this level of artwork and this style, that panoramic, overt widescreen artwork does, is drag you in. Some people may get frustrated with this. I totally get that. For some people who kind of just want a story to stand on its own merits, I think could be intimidated, potentially even put off by this. But I think the journey is absolutely worthwhile. Take the time, get lost in the pages, go back and revisit them again when you think, wait a second, was this foreshadowed earlier? Go and have a look. Take advantage of the fact that comic books allow you to do this and allow you to examine the time passing in your own way, and show you how good J.H. Williams is at setting his own standard for that. That's it for me for today. I'm going to hopefully do a little extra video for Free Comic Book Day stuff. That's probably only going to be relevant to people who shop in my store, but you never know. If you're a UK viewer and your comic book store hasn't done one yet, I'll give a rundown of everything we've got coming in, and you can have a little bit of an advanced sneak peek. Until then, though, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye. Alexa.